Hey everyone, in this FIFA 23 How to Play World Cup video, I'm going to talk about when World Cup mode is coming to FIFA 23 and also how you can do a little workaround whilst we're waiting for it. So this video was recorded in October and the World Cup mode is probably coming when the actual World Cup actually starts in real life, which is around about November time. So early November I would expect us to see the mode inside FIFA 23. You're probably going, that sucks man! But if you watch this video later, all will be fine. In the meantime though, if the mode is not here, you can simulate it with a custom tournament, but your cup doesn't look as pretty as the World Cup. I'm going to show you how to do that now, just in case you want to do that. You can still simulate it with a bunch of teams, including Qatar, which has been added to the roster in FIFA 23, so you can kind of simulate something to give you a warm-up before the actual proper mode appears. So to do that, what we need to do is go over to play modes. So I'm jumping into there, and then quick play modes. So I'm using my select button, which is A on the Xbox, that would be X on the PlayStation, or if it's a different button, it'll show down the bottom left-hand side for you. When you're in here, go over to tournaments, and what we need to do is create a custom tournament. Now, if you want to play the Women's International Cup, that is in as a mode, so you can do that over here. But if you want to do a custom tournament and create the men's simulation of a World Cup, you can do that over here. So custom tournament, and what I want to show you here is how you would set this up. So here is the one we're going to move over to. So I'm using the right stick to go over to group and knockout, which is the style of the World Cup. And then down below, the default number of teams is 32. You can go up to a whopping 64, which I think is bigger than FIFA 22. So that's up to you. I think it's 32 teams in the World Cup though. So we'll go with that. You can auto-fill the teams, or you can be really geeky and fill them in all manually if you want. I'm going to auto-fill, otherwise this video will be huge. Tournament name, you could call it World Cup or whatever you want to call it. And then the advanced settings, I'm going to turn those on just to show you the options you've got if you want to get really nitty gritty with the teams. And like I say, you can do team type men or women. So there are some of the international teams of the women's as well for the Women's International Cup, but you may as well play that and then you use the proper cup. You'll see that we can't use the Pretty World Cup, but we can raise a cup of sorts, which I will show you here. So we advance over to the next stage. This is the advanced settings that you will access if you turn them on. So you can see I've got autofill from. And what you want to do here is change this to international to make sure you get the international teams as opposed to the local club teams. You can also narrow down to team rating range. So you can say all, or you can say I want it above 4 stars, or 2 to 4 stars, or you know, all. So we're going to go with all here. Subs on the bench, you can change that. This is the cup. You can see as I filter through these, we haven't got the Pretty World Cup, so we just have to pick one of these that we like. That looks so disgusting. That looks pretty bad. They're all pretty bad, to be fair. None are as pretty as the World Cup. So we'll go with that one. You can choose the final stadium, so you can flick between these. I'm not sure whether any of the Qatar stadiums are in here yet. Of course, they're going to come when the actual World Cup mode comes in sort of November time, I would think. Final match legs, we're going to go with 1. Teams per group, I think it's 4 for the World Cup, but you can change all of this in the advanced settings if you so wish. I think they're all right as they are. So then we hit advance, and it's populated it with all of these teams here. Now, I can pick to play any of these teams, and I can pick multiple ones if I want. So I'm going to go with England. I can also simulate and play many of the other ones if I want, or just play one of them. So I'm just going to go England because I'm based in England. I can also replace teams. So if there's any teams in here that I'm not happy being in here that I want to replace with a different team, I have to be careful not to offend anybody here. But you can see Qatar has made it into there, so that's quite cool. They automatically came in. But let's just go for, I don't know, what team can I replace? Let's go with, I'll go with Romania. Sorry, Romania. I'll put you back afterwards. I just want to show that we can change this here. So we can either pick, what we need to do is go over to international teams. So if you cycle through the top bar here to international, you can then flick between all of these different countries here. So we could chuck in a different country. I totally didn't pay attention to what teams it filled in. If you look below, you can see it says team already in use under the star rating. So that's cool. So we keep flicking through and see who else we could chuck in. Germany bizarrely was not put in, so we'll pop those in and we swap that round. So now Germany is in our choices here, and then we could forward, or we could put Romania back in. Anyway, I'm going to say done just to show you what happens next with this simulation. So you can see here, it then sorts them into the groups. So we can see England is currently in Group C. We can randomize the groups if we don't like the look of this. We can select the teams, move them around and stuff. So if I say actually want to swap Brazil, and then I can use right button, that would be R1 on the PlayStation, to go over to a different group. I can say swap them two around to give me a better chance. You know, we could work on the star ratings. So you can do that if you want. You can also randomize the groups by hitting X, that would be square on the PlayStation, if you want. When you're happy with the groups, press Done, which is the little menu button that shows on the bottom little bar, and then it will hint for you to create a new tournament. You could call this World Cup or whatever. I don't care, I'm just going to forward it there just for speed. We are now in the custom tournament mode, so this is simulating the World Cup system that we set up with all of our teams, and we are good to play. So if we hit play match, our first match is against Croatia, and we can see that. We can also see the standings, so if we jump into standings here, you can see there's Group C. I can also see Group B, Group A, etc. as we go through, so that's pretty cool that will all simulate as we go. You can also look at your player stats, any news about the tournament, and on the top bar there you can see we can go from central to squad, so I can mess around with my team management. I can jump into here, and if we just jump in here, I can change things like my squad, who's going to play, adjust my formations, my tactics, my roles, instructions, etc. So that is all good to play. Do I want to save the changes? No, I don't in this case, but obviously if you did change something, you can do. So I'll flick back to central here. You've also got the customized thing here where you've got access to things like half length, difficulty, and more. And you can also save the game here, so you don't have to play the entire World Cup in one sitting. It should automatically hint for you to save as you get through to it. So when you're here, you can then play the match and it will go into the first game for us, and that's basically going to go straight in. And if we go through the entire World Cup, at the end you should be able to raise that little trophy that was the little custom trophy, but it's not going to be the final trophy. That is it, my friends. That's how to play World Cup in a kind of fashion until we see the official mode in FIFA 23. I know that's a slight cop-out, but at least I've given you something until the official mode comes. At least you know when the official mode is coming, and you can play a kind of World Cup style competition until then. If that was useful to you, big fat thumbs up please, much appreciated. Any comments welcome. If there's anything you want to know about the game in the meantime, have a little look at the tutorials that I'll put at the end of this video, just down there somewhere, or there. I always get confused because it mirrors my my camera. And if I don't cover something that you've got a question on, hit me up with a comment. I'll do my best to help. I always answer my comments as long as they're constructive. If I haven't got an answer for you, I'll have a little look into it and see if I can do a video. If it's a really cool idea, I'll give you a little shout out. If you like, just let me know if you'd like that. Thanks so much for watching, and hit that subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with my future videos. I don't just cover FIFA 23, but many other games as well, including Elden Ring and all sorts on my channel that you'll see. Thanks so much for taking a look.